Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Hope you guys are all having a great weekend. How's it going, Justin?
What was that? I spaced there for a minute.
What was the what?
You said something after the music.
I said, hope everybody's having a great weekend.
Yeah.
You know,
I
usual.
literally just my alarm woke me up, like I told you.
Yeah, like I was telling you, me and the boy were watching some Gravity Falls, and time sort of got away from me. I had, the just like 20 minutes to get ready, and yeah, so
Yeah, I set my alarm for an hour ago, and then I said fuck it.
hit snooze. Yeah, I usually only give myself 15 minutes uh,
I wanted to do some other stuff before the show too, but
before your show and my show. I, I give myself 15 minutes. Like sometimes, like on weekday mornings, I'll go back to sleep after he goes to school, and the alarm will go off 15 minutes before your show. Time enough to go to the restroom, grab my stuff, go outside. But now it's raining, so that kind of sucks.
I'm only happy when it rains, bro.
Yeah, I used to be a really big fan of it, but as I get older, less so.
You never listened to Garbage?
Oh, no, I know the song. I figured that's what
Okay,
you were referring to.
yeah.
Um, but even
Misery down,
more
misery
than
down.
rain, fog. Oh man, we
Oh,
used to have so much fun, and I haven't seen fog in years.
neither have I.
We used to have this school that was right by my house, and it would just you go through like this gate into because we could either come from one end or the other, like the front entrance or the back entrance. And my house is close to the back entrance, so we entered through the soccer fields and the football fields for the elementary school, and it would just fill up. It would just be you literally 5 feet away. You couldn't see your friends, and we would have so much fun just goofing off, doing crazy crap. I remember one
Oh,
specific night, me and a couple of my friends. I had the key to the game shop's game room, and we would stay
yeah.
there really late, like sometimes you know until morning, overnight. And one night we decided to hoof it home, and it was a good 2 miles, 2 mile walk. But the best part was after a big long game, we were playing all night, and we hit the fog bank, and it was awesome.
Man, I love the fog, man. But I think I love it more than you do. Uh,
Well, you probably live in a place that actually has it. I don't have it.
no, no. We've gotten it a few times. I like it so much. I actually considered moving to that town from Twilight. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's right outside of Olympus National Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that place is supposed to be covered in fog like 3 out of 4 days of the year. Yeah,
That could be fun. That could be fun.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I don't want to buy into the
What
climate
was?
bullshit. But I live in the desert, so of course we never get it. We get dust clouds or dust
Yeah,
storms. But even before then, it was like and I live in California by the beach, so plenty of reason to have it. But just
mm,
no,
it's a cold weather summer day kind of. It's a weird thing.
you know.
There are climate things going on. It's just like this is like both sides lie to you kind of thing,
Yep,
right? And like, yes, there are climate things going on, but the solutions are the problems. Like you can't like if you were really interested in green energy, you would be building more nuclear power plants, not tearing
absolutely,
them down. And
absolutely.
then like the right always wants to make it about like economic issues, right? Like, yeah, there are economic problems, but complaining about your pocketbook is not the way you argue against that kind of thing. You argue against what they're talking about because the things that they're giving you as examples are lies. You
Hmm.
know, then complain about the cost of toilet paper when it's got nothing to do with that.
Yeah, my favorite is everyone seems to want my country to do everything about it and let everybody else keep doing what they're doing.
Well, it's the same with my country. It's every white country, right? Like, uh, it's the fault of the U.S., Canada, Britain, France, uh, Germany. We those countries have to deal with like Australia. You know,
Mhm.
they have to deal with it. Well, like I'm sorry, but relocating manufacturing to China and now India because we're all at war with China now. So just we're gonna ship everything over to a place that has even less environmental policies, India, because
Yep.
that's the plan. The plan isn't to move manufacturing of combs back to Wisconsin or whatever. It's to move it to India.
Yeah, and we all have the ability to do better when it comes to the environmental effects
Yeah,
through industry, but instead we'll just move it to another place that's already you know
a
w- w-
shithole, right?
well,
Like,
not
like
just that. I was going to say, with the smog and things like that, they've already got it, worse than any other place. So we'll just make that place the worst place,
yeah,
and that'll make it better. No, because
and
eventually that
that's
does
not how it
spread out.
works, right? Like, you can't just bury your trash in a pile somewhere,
Now you got to
and
throw it out in the ocean.
yeah, well, that's somewhere, right? Like,
Sorry.
you've got to break it down and reuse it, right? It's like the old thing we were taught when we were kids: recycle, reuse, reduce,
Yep.
or whatever that bullshit was.
And the funny thing is that the big companies, where you take your recyclables, they don't even do that. 5% of that actually gets done. There are so many things. If you look online, like these things, especially the bigger ones, the things you can do with them at home. Between
Mhm.
turning them into cordage or you
Well,
know other simple things
now
to
that's the
do.
thing. That's the thing I would do as a regulation is that right there. That why like you reuse the plastic bottles, but why is there a big shift to selling water by bottle instead of making sure the plants that we all built and worked for decades are still functional and maintained? Like, stop using plastic
Hey,
bottles,
Diane, long
bro.
time no see.
Yes, Diane, how are you doing?
What's up, crafting? Diane's a
Grafton?
friend of ours from over at the Nathan show, the
Yeah,
Quantum show. I haven't seen her, I mean, I see her on Facebook, and stuff, but I
yeah,
haven't been, over there. So, but yeah, I mean, there's like, even like aluminum cans and stuff. There's things you could do at home, and instead of
W-
just
uh, uh,
tossing them into the bin for the recyclers to do something with, which is nothing. There are
yeah,
craft projects and home repair projects and things like that. Just
yeah,
other things you can do that will
yeah.
do your part.
At
Let's just
least they stopped. So I told you years ago I went on a tour of a recycling plant for a thing I was doing, right?
Mhm.
Um, Funny story about a nude magazine and the guy working there. But the specialist, we spoke with the actual, not the guy wearing the jumpsuit, but the actual guy that's supposed to know what he was talking about. And I asked him what his plant did with Tetra Paks, and he tried to bullshit me and say they dealt
guys.
with it. but there's only one plant in North America, or at least at the time there was only one plant in North America that could deal with Tetra Paks, and that was in South America, right? It was in like uh, Argentina or some shit like that,
Right.
right? I don't know if you know what Tetra Paks is.
Uh,
Uh,
I've heard of it, but refresh everybody out there.
you know the old juice boxes, right? When we were kids, juice boxes. They don't use it anymore, from what I understand. But there used to be like a cardboard and then an aluminum layer, and it was infused in plastic.
Okay.
And they dropped the aluminum layer so they can break it down now. But before that, this infusion was like impossible for like except for the very most specialized equipment to break down. So it was just like a wasteful, and it was like a triple threat. It had the three things in it, right? Um, okay, yeah, it was easier to cool your stupid uh, C plus or whatever, but your Fruitopia stayed a little colder and got colder in the fridge faster. It's not worth it.
Right.
It's just not worth it because the end product was like far more landfill landfill filling, right? Like
Yeah.
it just the negative effects on the end were like, hey, I've got this hangnail. Let me just pull the whole nail out and deal with that instead of getting some clippers.
That doesn't sound fun.
It's a stupid trade off, right? Some consumer products are just not smart to create in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know if
You
you've seen
know,
that commercial or that little video where it's like on a college campus. There's some kids or students or whatever, not kids,
yeah,
but everybody's a kid to me. Where they're saying, which product you think is the hardest to recycle? You know,
yeah.
plastic, glass, paper, and maybe something else. And I'm like, each one of them's got different ways to recycle. The
Hmm.
paper, well, you burn that in your fireplace. You use it for kindling when you're going to use a fireplace.
Well, it can be pulped and turned into more paper almost
Right,
endlessly.
right.
But
That's the
yes,
hard one, really, because
yeah.
glass, you rinse it out and you use it for something else. You know what I mean? You don't go buy
Well,
you know
yeah.
plastic containers to seal your like Tupperware. You just recycle those glass containers
You should
until you
get
can't anymore.
cold friendly glass and start using those instead of those plastic bottles,
Yeah, it's just
or
easier.
get a thicker plastic that's like more durable.
Yeah, I've been looking around for something that I can freeze because, like, if you look at this bottle, it's frozen inside. I just throw
Yeah,
these in the freezer to get them cold, and that way,
yeah.
because like I was just having this conversation earlier. Anytime I go to a restaurant, I bring two of these. I'm not
Yeah.
drinking their tap water disguised as water. I can
Well,
tell the
tap
difference.
water's fine.
Right, but it's not as clean, and
See,
the
that's the
taste is
problem. It used to be.
not where I live. Where I live, it's we've got some of the worst water ever. Um,
Uh,
and so I just bring two bottles with me, and they're frozen. And by the time I want to drink them, they've melted, halfway or whatever. And I've got ice cold water that I know is clean because I buy it from a water store where you can see the filters right there. They're doing the thing. Hey, what's up, Winston? I think you're new here. Diane, yeah, I haven't been on Nathan's show in a good long time. You can ask Nathan about that. But you're always welcome here. Brian, what's up? You know where the lake is, bro. You want to come in and shoot the shit until George gets here, or we, go on to what we were, the topic. And even that, I know you know a thing or two about, uh, sci-fi space travel technology. That's what we're going to talk about.
oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. I didn't write anything for that. If I had to.
Nobody did. There really wasn't. It was more of think about it, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll take some notes and save it for when we start playing uh, Traveler or whatever game we we actually play. There's other games out there. I mean, I was talking to Bubba. I wouldn't mind, trying Wretched Space because that's actually kind of along the same lines. Dungeon Minister, how you doing?
Yeah.
Putting together tomorrow's bulletin. Awesome. Yeah, I haven't watched your latest Castle video, but I can't wait to watch it. Uh, I've literally got like about a cubic meter of sheets of styrofoam that I want to do the same thing with, but I'm kind of waiting until I have my game shop open so that I can, you know, have a place to put it. Right now, in its bulk form, it's real easy to store, and I've got some really cool shaped styrofoam and some other things, but I haven't built any terrain or crafts in over a year because it's starting to stack up, and I got nowhere to put it. I'm actually thinking of uh, next year starting to give away that stuff because whatever it is, except for a few exceptions, I could remake it. Unless it's something that Jackie and I put together, and has really special memories. We don't mind. Here, have a piece of terrain or have a thing that we made.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah.
it's a good 2 years off. I'm still working on the details, but I plan on someday um, opening one. You too, Diane. Nice seeing you again. And
Yep.
if you see Raven out there, tell her to get over here. She's supposed to be here. She might be lurking too, like the dungeon minister. But yeah, I don't know. It's just stacking up. I'm looking at boxes over here. Of I've got this Games Workshop mausoleum. It turns out to be like almost 2 feet of uh, mausoleum
Mm.
terrain, like a full graveyard. It's still sealed in the box. Like it's easier to store, as sprues than it is uh, than to build it and then find the right styrofoam to pack it into a box and you know store it that way. So I'm just going to wait on that project because it's
See
it's
you,
a
Diane.
project. Take care, Diane. Oh yeah. It's nothing super eminent. Yeah, and before that, depending on how the new Arduin book goes, I may, if I can swing it, do a convention tour, hitting as many of the conventions to show off the game with George and Dave from Emperor's Choice. That's something we've been talking about. I'd love to do that. Hit like
Mm.
20 or 30 conventions in a year. Just boom, 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 boom. Go. I've seen most of the states, but there's still, obviously not including Alaska and Hawaii. There's still, yeah, I thought so, Raven. Maybe 15 of the states I've never seen, and most of them happen to be around Lake Geneva, where all the great conventions are. So that would be kind of cool, provided it's up on the rules for conventions. No worries, Dungeon Minister. You're always welcome to hang out. One of these times we got to have you back on again. Uh, I still get comments from the last time you were here, especially from Shauner's family.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
you know,
ease
I,
up on the rules for conventions.
yeah, ever since COVID, a lot of the conventions here had some really strict rules and a lot of.
I'm pretty sure a lot of those are suggested now, not mandatory.
Well, I wasn't really talking about the COVID protocols, but actually um, the woke protocols. No offensive this and that, and I mean
Well, yeah, okay.
that was one of the. I hate to say it, but one of the things that drew me to this game was that you could be yourself and you could cut loose and be offensive in a playful manner. It was never real.
Yeah.
Bubba did a great video Friday. Orcs aren't real. You know, they're
Yeah.
evil. They need to be killed. You know, they're not. You're not. Go watch Bubba. You know, DM
Yeah,
Beelzebubba's
yeah,
last
yeah,
video.
yeah. I saw that.
Everybody else, I know you saw it, but you know what I'm talking about. Where they people are just so ready to get offended and take offense at every little thing. I'm just, I, if you
I,
choose to be offended,
I've
it
taken to
sucks for you.
go. I've taken to going off on tangents about random shit he says in his videos instead of the actual topic.
Yeah, dude, I do not understand why he is not way bigger than he is. His videos are some of
Oh,
the most enjoyable videos out there if you have got a sense of humor, thick skin, and you can laugh at this silly little game of elves and sticks.
uh, I think it's like the SEO stuff. He probably like he has nothing written in the description. Is because
Could
all that
be
stuff is like things the algorithm uses
uses
to
to disseminate and propagate. Who gets to
yeah
see it, who will see it, uh, totally.
yeah
But just amongst our friends and whatnot, you know, he should be up there. At least
hmm
500 subs, not 50 ish. Uh,
yeah
I literally I know Raven too. He's one of the funnest personalities out there to watch. Him just get a kick out of his own things he's saying. His laugh is positively infectious, and like I said,
yeah
if you can you know take a step back and look at it, look at what it is we are doing. This hobby. It's pretty ridiculous. But so is baseball, in my opinion. But we've got to do stuff to take up the time. Between the stuff we don't want to do and the stuff we want to do, and this is the thing we've chosen to want to do. So why not just enjoy it and let other people enjoy it the way they want? But you know, there's a bunch of
yeah.
asshats out there who like controlling other people and telling them what to
Hey
do.
hey 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 hey! You
You want
gotta
to
do
settle
what I
that remark?
say, or else. Uh, you gotta do what I say, or else.
Yeah, that you see how often that happens. Um,
Yeah, yeah. You do what I say a lot.
shit.
I just wish I just wish you would stop making gay porn.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. You'll love my next video. I'm kidding, folks. I'm not. That's not what I do. Uh, yeah.
Uh,
Not going down that tangent tonight. Not in the mood. Uh, we did that
what?
on your show, I think Friday, anyways. Uh,
What tangent?
exactly. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Just we're so lucky that we can even do this hobby. I
hmm
was looking at things going on elsewhere around the world. You know, and I was also thinking about it when I was watching um, Gravity Falls. We were talking about that, and there was the D&D episode, the Dungeons and Dungeons and More Dungeons game that one of the two uncles plays. You know,
Oh,
the Infinity
yeah.
Sided Die. Oh my God, I am so stealing that. The Infinity Sided Die. What a magic item.
Oh no, it's just I love that because it's they play up the super math like games that they make fun
Mm-hmm.
of the ones that are just like
I think that's written in everybody's contract. If you do a D&D episode, you have to get the rules as completely bass backwards wrong as you possibly can to make it.
well it's you gotta make them more complicated
Yes.
because there are a lot of unnecessarily complicated rules in
Mhm.
many role playing
Did you
games.
know that the wizard in that episode was played by Weird Al?
No, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, Jackie said, "Oh, this is the Weird Al episode." I'm like, "What? Weird Al's in this one?" And I was like, "Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, he's the wizard." He's like, "Yeah." He doesn't really sound like him all the time, but sometimes he does, and I'm like, "That's kind of cool." Uh, getting someone someone like that on board. Of course, finding out last week that Elon at some point in his life played Dungeons and Dragons, or at least that's the impression I got from the stories. Yeah, so what? Like almost everybody I know has played it at least once.
Yeah,
A lot of people I know, like played it once and like, it's not my thing. I'm not into it. Okay,
yeah.
as opposed to, back in high school when me and like four other guys were the only people, in 4 square miles that played it or more. But yet somehow the shop stayed open. I guess because older people with cars would come and shop there. But I was thinking about how how lucky we are that we actually get to while away some of the hours doing this.
Hmm.
There's a lot of other things that we could be doing, for fun. But this one just there's something special about this one. I get, like sports and the camaraderie and the fellowship and all that with people, feeling like they're part of a something that's bigger, you know
Mm.
that kind of thing. But it's purely a spectator thing. You have absolutely no say in what's going on. You could root for your team all you want, do your little ritual things that I've seen people do, and it has no effect.
Where those socks that have been washed since
Right. Or
1983.
or the face paint, or your favorite jersey, or ordering the food and stuff like that. You're just an observer, and
I want
say a
pizza.
consumer, but that's it. Unless
Mm.
you are on a team and you play on the weekends and blah blah blah, which I've done, and that's fun for as long as your body can hold out doing it. But that's it. You really play no part in what's going on. This
I just recognized your shirt. Those stars have one few points per star.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they should be 6 pointed stars.
Of course, you're gonna bring the pivot over here. No, I got this election night actually. Still waiting to see what happens, but it's no matter how you slice it, it's better than what could have been.
They, they,
Unburdened by what could have been.
they the lefties need to storm the Senate and demand the.
Yeah, I know.
But the difference between them and your guys is they would actually show up with guns because
I think the other difference
they
about
know how to do it properly. You
well, yeah,
guys,
but every one of them would break one of their hollow ass bones, firing it.
no, they got the John Brown Gun Club. Those guys know how to shoot their guns.
I don't remember the kind of meltdown last 4 years ago that I saw for a week straight, and then I said no more, not watching that. It wasn't even a
Ah,
week. I watched it from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 days. I watched some of those videos of people shaving their head and screaming at their camera and crying and all
yeah,
that.
but you notice like uh, I was watching one of those playlists, and you could tell like two or three of them were
Oh
stages.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like two or three out of the five that they
Yeah.
put up there were like fake. They were
It's
just
just
there making fun
cloud
of lefties.
chasing, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so like
Just
how much of it's fake and how much of it's like you're seeing a focused amount of
mhm.
like if you're looking at a focused amount of weirdos and most of them are still fake, it's not a real thing. It's
Trust me,
astroturf.
out of the I probably saw, because some of the videos had multiple videos in them.
Yeah.
I probably saw, let's say, 100
Yeah,
different.
well, yeah,
You
and
know,
that's what I'm saying. I saw one of those playlists too, and like
well, it
I
wasn't a playlist. It was like one video that had a whole bunch.
yes, yeah, well, it's the same fucking thing. Someone found a playlist and then recorded it and put some commentary over top of it. Doesn't make
I suppose.
like it's the MTV fucking pop up video or whatever. Remember those things?
Hmm.
Yeah, they have an hour of music videos, but they got like word bubbles over it, so it's not a music video anymore.
It's just it was quite. I wanted to say funny, but it was really more
Yeah.
sad than anything else. You know,
Yeah. Well, it was
because
really sad that someone was trying to astroturf a real thing behind a nothing movement, right? You're always gonna have one or two weirdos out there on whatever side's going on.
yeah,
But the fact that like enough people felt that they needed to make a compilation video, and then on top of that, like you could visibly tell that a good number of the videos in the compilation were bullshit, right?
no, Brian, I didn't see that. You can send me a link, and I will watch it. But I won't. I'm not going to gloat. I didn't do any of that. Um, and one of the reasons I got the shirt because I was curious about my area. What it's like. What people are going to be like. Because I know in some
Yeah.
places, it could be dangerous, or you could risk, someone coming up at you and starting shit. I I saw some people like, oh, but but I had already thrown them off because like I'm like I always say hi to like everybody I meet. You know,
Uh-huh.
um, I even said we were in the car today and this lady was about ready to cross the street as we were driving by, and I said hi to her, and she was like totally taken back. And like, oh hi, like not expecting it. And other people when I was in the Hobby Lobby today because I had to return a
Hobby
frame.
Lobby. Mm.
Freaking love that store. It's just I never get to go because they're closed on Sunday, and Sunday's like one of the only days. But I made it a point because I had to go in that area anyways
I
today to
don't
pick.
think we got them here.
And I'm not a fan of Michaels because Michaels, while it's almost like identical everything, the the ambiance and the spirit and of the employees is way different. You know what I mean? It's like bitterness. You could just feel the just the unhappiness when you walk in there. It's like walking into a pawn shop. You can feel all the broken dreams as you walk in. You know what I mean? But when you walk into Hobby Lobby, everybody's all happy and smiling, and it's almost like being in a Hallmark Christmas movie. Every time you walk in there, it's just a different holiday, and I was curious and still am to see, what kind of people are gonna, be upset about the way things went and whatnot, and not seeing any of that. Although 4 years ago, I did see some
Yeah.
people that were upset
8 years
about
ago.
things.
Or
No, no, this was literally 4 years ago.
oh,
Uh,
during the when he lost.
yeah, and it wasn't, I was at a grocery store wearing a certain kind of hat, and me and this other dude were like trying to, you know, go down the same aisle, and I said something, nice and friendly, and he just freaking lost his shit because of the thing,
Uh,
just like, and I was just like, have a nice day, you
uh,
know. But it's like there are way worse things you could be wearing that are offensive. For example, like some of Hungar's shirts, I can see some people losing their shit over it. You know what I mean? And rightly,
yeah, but those would be gay people.
obviously, they would be. They'd have issues, but it's
Yeah.
all meant in fun. It's not meant to like start a riot or violence. It's just to make to try to make light of something that's dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just relax. It's going to be okay. In 4 years, if it's not okay, I'm sure we'll take the blame for it. Those of us who are responsible, or we'll pass the buck like everybody else does. But either way, it's still going to be okay.
Yeah.
Dungeon Mister says Michael's here in Canada charges two prices. You can get almost all of that at the Dollarama for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, that's why I'm lucky. I've got a Dollar Tree right next to my Hobby
Yeah.
Lobby, right next to my Walmart and Sam's Club. So it's like, because Sam's Club, even though it's part of Walmart, the prices are like different. You can buy the single serving, or you can buy 20 for a super discount. You can go to
Yeah.
Hobby Lobby, or you can go right next door to Dollar Tree and get a cheap substitute that doesn't have a name brand. But our Hobby Lobby does have like almost everything there has like a regular sale, like every 2 weeks it rolls around, like the model kits, the picture frames, the paints, the jewelry, making supplies, things like that. You know, if you get the coupon or the ad flyer regularly, it's like, oh, okay, I'll just mark it on my calendar. Go here, look for frames or look for this every 2 weeks, and
Yeah, I know that they like people would wait for the 50% sale
uh huh.
coupons on like whatever you want to buy,
Hmm.
uh, specifically to get airbrushes. That it became an exclusion for them.
Yes, it
Like
did. I
this,
actually, no, because I was actually there was like a 40% off one item coupon, but I was going to get my Iowa airbrush from them at that time, and they're like, nope, doesn't work on that because it's a $200 item almost, or $100
yeah,
item, or whatever, I forget.
yeah.
But you can understand them not wanting to do that on something that literally the
No,
most
no, no, no.
expensive item.
It used to be like every model maker on YouTube would be like, just wait for the 50% sale to get it at Michael's,
Okay,
and then like after 5 years of that, it became like the only thing they excluded in the store.
that must have been before I even started shopping at Hobby Lobby for that kind of stuff.
Michael's.
Oh, Michaels, because Hobby
Yeah,
Lobby's got the had the same thing, but they
yeah,
stopped it a couple of years ago. They don't even do the cube that won 40% off any item coupon anymore because inflation, etc. Uh,
uh,
their big items, would all just be slashed in half basically, because no one would buy them at the regular price. They would just wait for that coupon, and
yeah.
but they do have really good prices on
No,
the
you got to
model.
realize what that means is their markup is so high that
Yeah,
they're still making a profit
sure,
with that coupon.
I totally get that.
Um, which tends to be the case with most retail.
Yeah, yeah. If you've ever worked in retail or had your own business, you know that damn near everything is probably only costing them about 10% or less of what you're paying
Yeah,
between
usually it's fifty
overhead,
percent, but
overhead shipping, and things like that.
uh,
Obviously, but uh, they can always, if the item is still wrapped and packaged, they can always ship it back to the main warehouse and put it online. Especially with like the model kits and things like that. That's why even our thrift stores are crap now. They're absolute every one of them, because they now do online business, and all the good items. Every item that comes in is has got an expert that goes and looks up the item and finds out what it's worth, and then puts it on their online store. And the absolute garbage will go to the actual buildings.
yeah, which is sad. It used to be like there's still some like if you want to run around um like Goodwills and things like that, you can still find good stuff because they don't do that with everything.
I
But
found a couple of things today, actually. I found one of the greatest books I've ever seen. It's like the Bacon Bible.
yeah, but like it used to be up until about 4 or 5 years ago, like just before the coup. Um,
Yeah.
you could go into like uh, a Salian or whatever and pick up a decent camera. Like if you wanted to get into this what we're doing, and you want to use a good camera, you could go and get like a Canon uh, S500 or whatever the fucking series is, the one that has continuous video,
Okay.
um, for like 50 or $100 instead of the like nearly 12 that they cost.
That's awesome, Dungeon Minister.
Yeah.
He's talking about power
Power
tools are always
tools.
on sale at Canadian Tire. You have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
work
yeah.
actually pay the normal price. That's funny. I
Uh,
can't even imagine how you would go about working to do that. But
uh.
um,
Well, I don't know. Power tools. You know how much power tools cost.
yeah,
Yeah, and then imagine that with the Canadian bubble on top of that. Like we get paid more per hour, but you know we
it's not
seriously got to get
honest.
rid of this goddamn Trudeau and anyone voting liberal in this country is fucking suicidal. It's just I'm just saying that. It's like before before the Trudeau government and like quick into the Trudeau government this switch happened. We were the we had the highest standard of living in North America, in Canada.
Mhm.
Uh,
You can believe it.
and now we've sunken pretty low on the list.
Yeah,
Like
I noticed.
we're not one of the tropical islands of like the
I don't
fucking
like talking about other folks' countries because I'm not
yeah
there and I don't really think I've got too much of a right. Obviously, I've got the right to have an opinion, but to go into
yeah.
it, I noticed something unusual about something he said just recently about the immigration issue, where
Oh yeah
I guess we were wrong, kind of thing, that they're going to
yeah.
put a halt on it for like 3 or 4 years, which would coincide for, oh, I don't know, maybe my country's next election. Oh, you think things are
Yeah.
going to change? Okay, we'll see. Um,
Nope.
yeah, but it was just weird. I don't know if that was a coincidence, my conspiracy minded thinking, me going off, or just noticing, a pattern, because we had a thing, here, that we didn't see this year. Uh,
We've had more immigration over the last decade than we've had in the previous three.
you had what?
We had more immigration in the last decade, the last 10 years or so, than we had in the previous three.
I wonder why.
Policy,
No, I
deliberate
know. I
policy.
mean, I meant like the underlying beyond that kind of motivation.
No, well, they give you the standard party line of we have the low workforce and we need it for labor. And it's like no, you're having a low workforce because nobody's getting paid the market rate because your existing immigration policy is driven down the cost of labor and because of like the high cost of living because of the low manufacture of housing like actual housing units, not specifically because that's the word we use for government housing here. Um, uh,
Didn't know that, but I'm
has
sure.
lowered the ability for people to get out on their own stably and start families. Like you've had a systematic
And that drives down the birth rate as well.
what's drives like you've had a systematic policy of driving down the birth rate of the people living here in exchange for
Sorry, Brian, and
yeah
Dutch Minister's comments.
yeah
I should be like highlighting the comments, but they're up on the screen. Uh,
yeah.
but it's funny,
Mhm.
because I remember, I want to say it was maybe the '90s that I noticed this. Not that it wasn't going on before, or since, or whatever, but Canada always seemed like a great place to live. If mind you, there's a couple of things that some people might not like, but
Mhm.
you guys were like world famous for being polite and nice, and stuff like that. Almost to a fault, and beautiful countryside if you like trees, and cold weather, and then
Yeah.
then
Uh,
things started going south for everybody. Not like
well,
you
it's the word the lefts like to use systemic problem. It's
Yeah.
a systemic problem
Yeah,
with
but
all
but
of our
but then I got to
countries.
think about, wait a minute, who's been running, at least in my country, who's been running the system for the last, I don't know, like 20 years or
No, no, no.
more?
It goes above that. This
Oh
is where
yeah,
you actually get to talk about the World Economic Forum. This is what we're talking about. The World Economic Forum's legitimate instead of like recent weirdo crap. This is the legitimate reason to talk about them.
yeah. I don't know.
Oh, because this is where it's where they all go to talk about and organize these plans, right? And organize lumber rights or whatever. Uh,
Yeah, I know, guys. It's
but hey, it's like they say, we're already living in cyberpunk, just without the cool technology and the neon lights.
there's many arguments I could see backing that up. I
And they want you to buy those fucking LEDs and put them all around your house. So we'll have that soon anyway. Just will be exactly. Shadows just like shut the lights off right now. Shut the lights off. Oh, nice new chair.
Oh, thanks.
Uh,
Yeah, I've got them. I've got them.
yeah.
I can change the color, but I'm not gonna because I'm lazy.
Let's just
But
hold that coaster up again.
yeah, I got these at the Dollar Tree uh, for the holidays. Because we're gonna have guests over for Christmas. And I was
Yeah,
gonna, put these
yeah.
under everybody's drinks and say, "Oh yeah, take those home with you." Just little goofy, little completely
Yeah.
useless, moronic. Ooh, flashy light. Ooh, But I
They're
mean,
Mexican. They'll love it.
it's they're very simple.
Javier probably works in the plant that makes them.
And the only thing that I would complain about them is you can't replace the battery. So when they're done, they're useless unless you don't mind just having a clear plastic coaster or doorstop, or
Well,
they'd
can
work
you
real good
remove the
on
sticker?
furniture. I suppose you could maybe, and maybe that's where the battery thing would work or whatever. But I found a great use for these
Mm,
besides putting under your furniture on your tile floors. You remember air hockey
yeah, those are a little big, no?
for the puck?
Yeah, yeah, they're a little big, no?
I don't think so.
I remember those things being like, not.
And if for some reason it's too thin,
Mhm.
which I don't think it would be, you could always just put two of them together. But I mean, think about your local arcade. Ours, still has an air hockey, or if not two air hockey machines. I used to love that freaking game.
Mhm.
When you got a million different lights going off, let's add a little bit, one more, right?
Yeah.
Uh, as a matter of fact, I think I actually had an air hockey table, like a miniature version, for a little while.
Oh, they
Uh,
used to sell full size ones at Canadian Tire.
More so than foosball. I hated that game.
Foosball?
Yeah,
It's not like
I get it.
foosball?
It's a clever idea. You know what I mean? Very clever
Uh,
for a game, etc. But it's just,
we had one here. I don't know if you had it, but it was like like foosball, but hockey. And
oh yeah,
instead of them being on lines, they were in positions.
yeah.
And you'd pull a stick for each player.
And then they would. I've
They,
seen that
they,
too.
they had a button that would cause them to swing, so you could like position them
Yeah,
and
I thought about that too, Dungeon Minister. That's why I've got one up here because I'm trying to think of exactly which one of those ideas I would use. But because the battery and everything is in the center,
yeah.
you'd have to you'd have to you have to do something to offset that. Although I'm thinking it would be maybe better for like he was saying, if you were building cyberpunk terrain, like something that Black Magic Craft might do, or Wylock even more so because he's writing a cyberpunk game. But I told him, dude, your game has already been created. It's mechanically, it's there's already a game out there that does everything he's talking about. He just hasn't bought enough games to understand that you got to be very careful when you're creating a game without recreating somebody else's game, or one third somebody else's game, one third somebody else's game, and one third somebody else's game.
Yeah,
I was
you
thinking that
can't
too.
copyright rules, so it doesn't matter. It's just the
Right,
way they're
but I mean,
formatted.
for any reasonable anybody who's been in it, half as long as me with half as many or even 10% of the number of games I have, you'd be able to go, oh, it's that mechanic and that mechanic and that
Yeah,
mechanic.
so what?
And,
At least it's not a BX clone.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of clones if they're not your property to begin with. I guess it's like, so
Uh,
you just took somebody else's project. So basically, you're an editor, and a layout guy as opposed to a game designer.
yeah, which is
And
I guess
like,
fine, but
yeah, but don't act like you're both.
yeah.
All you did was clean it up. Okay, cool, thanks. Why did you have to slap a whole bunch of other things on it, trying to make it look like you did something other than just that?
Well, they might want to add in personal flavors or whatever, but
I get, if you created the world, a new world, that's awesome. That's
yeah,
who was I talking about that with this morning? Joshua from Total Party Skills. That's what I want to see, is new worlds.
worlds.
Something that's you know I mean, supposedly there are an infinite number of dimensions. Let's just go with that, right? Well, how come we only get 20 different worlds or world settings in the hobby? Come on,
Yeah,
you know, uh, pull something out of your arse and give us something, that's at the very least uniquely you. What would be your
hmm,
ideal world? I used to do that as an experiment with my players. I would literally let them create the map of their world, and and uh, and,
yeah.
and then I would run
Populate
them
it with
in it.
countries.
They tell me about it, and I'm like, okay, I'll run you through your dream world. Because if you did it any other way, it would be kind of masturbatory sort of fantasy like thing. Here, if you've got an arbiter who's willing to throw crap at you that doesn't always go your way, like that episode of the Twilight Zone where you think you're in the good place but you're actually in the bad place. You have some adversity, some challenges, and things like that. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
And I saw more originality back in those experiments than I do on the average other products I've seen over the years. I've seen some really bad ones that were literally like no imagination whatsoever. Like literally just Earth, but it's like you took imagine like you took a puzzle map of the Earth, and you took all the pieces and shook them up and then dumped them out on the table randomly, and that's the only difference. Just everything's moved around. What do you want?
Well, like you can still do good with that, right? Like look at Game of Thrones.
Uh,
Like you could dislike Martin all you want, he still told a good story.
right.
And all that is like what
I
Ireland turns sideways and
don't
the
know.
main island
Say hi to everybody.
of England,
Right, but that
yeah,
comes
made like five
from
times larger or whatever.
that 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 comes from good storytelling. Um, taking
And,
taking one of his
and all it
not his
is War of the
flaws, but his
Roses.
one of his weak suits, if you will. So he's not a great world builder, so to speak, but he turned it around by making
Well,
a great story in a mediocre world. Let's say.
well, he did create like he redesigned all the powers, but yes, it's War of the Roses. Uh, right, like he had his inspiration, and you can see it there if you know the history.
Mhm.
Um, but
That's
at the
the War of
same
the
time,
Roses.
yeah,
See,
it's
I've never
just
read any of Martin's work. The only thing I wanted to read was his Wild Card series. That
I
that
think you
sounded.
like Game of Thrones. It's got
Uh,
lots of stuff going on, but you know,
if it's not finished, I don't want to read it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
hate that. I've had Netflix do that to me too many times with great shows, and then up, gone.
yeah.
Travelers, Dark Matter, The Zoo. They'll probably do that with the Blacklist, but who am I kidding? The Blacklist stopped being good like 4 seasons ago. It was great.
Wow,
It was
10
really good.
seasons ago.
It was really good, and up until um, uh, her the main character's husband disappeared, died, or left the show. Not that he was part of that equation, just at around that time, I remember it got like not so good, and then it
Hmm.
got downright awful. And from the time they did that animated episode,
I don't. I was out.
it was like the last episode during the COVID season. They couldn't get together to do it, so they animated it, did like a cartoon, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, thank you for making this really colorful like road mark, letting me know this is when it's going to start to suck.
yeah. I don't know. I thought it went downhill. Like in the third season. So
The third season,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I did kind of enjoy. Uh, no, I definitely enjoyed it past the third season,
But that was like
especially
10
when
years
they're trying to
ago,
figure out the mystery
15.
of the mom.
Yeah.
Agent Keen's mom and dad kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that was around the third season, wasn't it?
Might have been a little bit later,
Maybe the fourth. I don't know. Somewhere around there. It was like a decade ago.
but you
Last time
got
I
to
watched
admit
that shit.
it came out real strong. It
Oh
really did.
yeah.
And David Spader, my God, what was he doing all that time between that between
Boston Legal.
what?
Boston Legal.
Yeah, that he wasn't as good as he was in the Blacklist. He was way more fun. It was
Yeah.
just like
Well, it was a different tone of show.
right, but it was like I wanted to say what had he been doing between Stargate and the Blacklist and Boston Legal, but okay, what was he doing between Boston Legal and Blacklist? Because something happened to him besides he gained like 40 pounds. Um,
Well,
something happened
find
and
out.
he just became just
David Spader.
one of the just that character Red
David Spader.
was just one of the great all time, you know,
Hmm.
characters. Yeah, I don't want to call him a bad guy or a good guy because he was both. I mean, obviously he was a bad guy. I mean, like a really bad guy. But you couldn't help watch that show for like you know even a couple of episodes without thinking he's got to be deep cover. You know, good guy agent. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Something's going on. You're going to find out the whole time he was working for the government and everything he was doing was above board or sanctioned or whatever. Um, and I didn't even
David.
start watching it until years after it had been on. I was taking a bus every like once a month. I was going to visit my friends in Orange County, so I had to take the several buses, and one of them was like a nonstop hour and a half bus ride. And there's this one
5 years.
lady who I would see every month, because she was going to work. I was goofing off, and she had her laptop, and that's what she'd do. She'd sit down and she'd watch Blacklist. And I knew she was watching that because I'd seen some commercials. I figured, oh, or I'd see the logo or whatever. And I'm like, man, she's getting into this. She's loving this show. I'm gonna have to check it out, and I did, and I'm glad I did. And
So 2013, and it looks like the show is done. The Blacklist,
yeah.
because it's got a finish date on IMDb for last year.
Okay, so it's over.
Yeah, 10
Okay, I'll have to go
seasons.
back and watch it because I haven't seen the last season, maybe even two seasons. That's one of the things I like about Netflix. One of the few things is that they've got like a permanent marker that you've watched this, so you don't have to watch them all again. And Dungeon Minister, I can't do popcorn anymore, but I've got the greatest invention of all time when it comes to popcorn. One of those hand crank detonator, I think they're called, popcorn poppers. You'll never get popcorn better than that. And the great
Now,
thing about it is you can take that anywhere, camping, to the park, the picnic, whatever, and start a fire, and you got popcorn.
um,
Butter, that's a different thing.
now apparently Elizabeth, the daughter, she left the show 2 years before it ended,
Yeah,
and that would have been a killing point for me as well.
really, I hated her guts. I hated everything about
Yeah,
her, and I
I
was
thought that
glad she was
was
dead.
the purpose of
Metaphorically,
the.
I hated that character. I hated her so much. It was like it was the only thing I didn't like about that show. It was that actress. I couldn't
Mm.
stand her. I was like, just I don't know why. I mean, I kind of know why, but um, I just didn't like the character and the actress. All of it just seemed
She was very dreary, but that was the point of the
not just
character.
that, but like it's like you could literally could have picked anybody else, and they would have been more attractive, more talented,
Yeah.
more enjoyable to interact with. As much as you can with the TV screen, and just more fun to watch. I've had the same popcorn popper for more than 20 years, and when we see them in the store, which is very rare, but sometimes Walmart will have them, we always get one for somebody for Christmas because it'll be one of those things you'll have forever. And if you take care of it, you clean it, etc., it, it's so much fun. And it's just, sure, microwave popcorn takes like 2.5 minutes, but making it in that takes like five tops.
So between the end of Boston Legal and um, the start of the Blacklist,
Yeah.
he was in a kids movie called Shorts, an episode of The Office, 25 episodes of The Office. So it was a
Done.
regular on The Office,
Who
and
was?
David Spader.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I didn't like the English or the American version.
yeah,
I
it's
like
the
the English
American
version much
version.
better with Ricky Gervais.
Yeah,
I stay. I don't like what's his name, Steven.
Carell.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. I just don't.
Yeah, neither
And
do I.
Dungeon Minister, I don't know because I didn't see the end of it, and they never, or at least where I was at, uh, you don't know. They don't really tell you. And even though they kill her off, as Justin said, she left the show 2 years before it ended. They killed her off, and they still kept going with it, which was actually, I thought, a brave move.
Hmm.
They could have easily just did a funeral episode
And
and
that was the end because she was technically the focus of the show,
right.
right? She was the main character. It was her dealing with the the kind of person her father was,
Or
which
maybe
was the
not her father. There were
yeah
even rumors for a while that Red was her mother.
yeah. Like I remember seeing that because my brother
It's
was
like, you
watching it a little
gotta
bit
be kidding
after.
me. There's no way. I mean,
Yeah,
did you
there
ever
was
see
a
Murder by
sex
Death?
change episode.
Did you ever see Murder by Death?
I think so. That was
That argument
the
reminded
Clue
me.
knockoff.
Well, it actually came out before Clue.
Yeah, but it was the board game came out first.
No, it was actually. It was more like all your favorite detectives, you know,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
spoofed, and a reason to bring them all together.
yeah. Hmm.
without time
Mhm.
travel because it was a spoof. You know, you had uh, uh, Charlie Chan and just Sam Diamond instead of Sam Spade, and you had
Yeah, but Charlie Chan was still Charlie Chan.
right Hercule Poirot and Agatha Christie, but none of them had the right names. They were mixed, or but
Agatha Christie was a writer. She
yeah,
wrote
it
Hercule
was all the
Poirot.
but they had all of that sort of mixed up. And if you've ever seen it, you know how it ends, and there's a little bit of transgender humor in there back when it was uh,
Still
laughed at.
funny.
Yeah, it's a good movie. You probably get a kick out of it.
I know I've seen it, but I don't remember shit about it.
I saw it. It came out. It was the double feature after not ET, Close Encounters. And my dad's like, hey, your brother's asleep. You want to go? We were at the drive-in. It's like, you want to go? You want to watch this movie? I'm like, yeah, let's watch it. And we had a blast. Mind you, I was like 10 or 12. And he's like, you got that joke? I'm like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Let's stay and watch it. And a lot, not just good memories, but it was actually a really good movie. It had Peter Falk and James Cromwell and some other folks
Yeah.
in it. Uh, but it reminded me of that, and I was really surprised that in the Blacklist they could have just had a finale episode, the funeral, and Red lays all his cards on the table, and now you know why everything happened, but it sucks because he failed or whatever, because he was
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, because he was trying to keep his daughter from getting into something shifty or whatever.
Or maybe coming after him, not realizing who he was, because where she worked, she would eventually, or somebody in the bureau would have eventually been like, "Well, we got to get this guy," you know. And
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'll probably try and watch it next week, maybe when Jackie's on vacation, and see if it was worth the 10 years of I didn't watch it over 10 years. Well, actually, maybe now it has been almost 10 years. But you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah, yeah. The show started in 2013, so
okay? And I came in at it very late,
yeah,
but I was watching the new seasons as they were coming out up until a year or two ago.
yeah. So I might rewatch that though.
But also speaking of Netflix, I got an ad for Stranger Things, the final season.
The
You
last
probably
season was the final season.
well, there's one more season.
Yeah, no, but that's what they advertised last season as the final season, right? So
No, no, they didn't
during its hype up, they most certainly did.
really, because I know
Uh,
that it, at the end of that season, they let us all know that there was another season coming,
yeah,
but
that
that
was
was like
probably a mid-season decision because they didn't drop that all at once like they used to. They did
really. I thought they did,
the half of it now and then half of it later thing.
which is fun because the Red Room just had they're having a new release. It's called The End of Innocence or something like that. Basically,
Mhm.
kids on bikes, Stranger Things, Erie, Indiana, E.T.
Yeah.
That as a role playing game. It's been done before, but this has got their own wretched, you know,
Hmm.
spin on it, and I'm looking forward to seeing
So
that
so I'm expecting it to end like it did uh
in the book.
in the book.
Yeah,
In the
that's what I
book.
figured. I didn't read the book, but I saw this
The
the
list
original
of the
miniseries with John Boy
oh
Walton and a bunch of other nobodies.
John Boyle Walton and fucking O'Toole.
Yeah,
Fucking Catherine O'Toole's in the whatever the fuck her first name is.
and Tim Curry and
Yeah. Tim Curry. Tim Curry is the least deserving of fame out of all of them.
I tend to agree, except musically, I'll give it to him when he was just a musician back in the day. Um, he had his own little cult following that he earned on his own. You know what I mean? Not really my kind of music, but it was definitely music and definitely
It was
popular.
definitely Muzak.
I don't know that. It's just not. I couldn't say anything bad about it, uh, other than it was just not my style. You guys know what I like, which is a lot of
Yeah.
things, but not that.
You like things about yay thick and about yay long and kind of meaty and but hard.
No, 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 no.
That's your style.
But I am looking forward to Stranger Things, and I am looking
Hmm.
forward to uh, the End of Innocence. Or I should look it up and see what it is called, because if I'm gonna actually shout it out, they but it did a bunch of community posts about it. See if I can get there without.
Ending the show by accident.
You're right. I
I've
think
done
I.
that a few times where I've accidentally closed the restream tab during the show.
Yeah.
uh,
Let's go over to those guys because I feel bad. I was supposed to have reviewed uh, their sailing game, The Age of Sail, or something like that, but it's so full of cursive cursive font style that's just like, oh, you're killing me.
I can't believe you don't like Megan Boone, man.
I don't like what.
Megan Boone, the girl from Blacklist.
Oh, dude,
She's
her
so
jaw.
wholesome
She's
looking.
just like, but one, she reminds me of someone who I didn't dislike. Um,
Yeah,
but she
she's
just
got like
reminded me of someone, and that person
she's
was
got a
actually kind of
Midwest.
cool,
Yeah, she's got a Midwestern girl kind of look to her.
dude. She's got a jaw like a bulldog.
Nah, she's just white. Just she's got a square face. She's got some Scandinavian blood in her.
I guess it's just like not my
She's one of those
not
human
attractive to
people and
me.
not one of those elves like you,
I don't know that I would call them elves.
like you. She's got human blood in her, not elf blood.
I don't have any elf blood in me. Well, I might, but
I don't know.
on the Irish side, maybe.
No, that's where you got the fairy blood.
Okay, hopefully I can hit the pause button before. Okay, cool. Oh, what the hell? Stop that!
No,
Not you.
no.
Oh, jeez, I saw red in the title, and it's like the wrong red. Oh, okay. They got to do something with their channel because when I type in the red room,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
there's
The-
like
the-
50 million other things besides them, and I can never find them from that.
yeah. It's the same here. They got to tag the RPGs or games or something. They should have done an SEO search and then filtered it before creating their company name.
Oh, geez, and on my laptop when I go to subscriptions, it's got nothing but these thumbnails. It doesn't have the actual list of the channels in the order of my preference and stuff.
Oh, I fucking hate that.
Oh, it's like what are you trying to keep me from literally watching what I want to watch?
Mm-hmm. It puts a blue dot by everything that is new, like that has a new release. I don't think
But
that.
I literally can't find them uh, because it's showing me duplicates of the same people because it's just showing me these videos, not the actual names of the channels.
You can go to sort by channel.
No, not on this, not on the screen.
It's at the top. It's in filters. So red room. Okay. Uh, did they change it? Oh
On
no.
my on
Um,
my
over here where it
I'm
shows
sorry.
your little over here where it shows your little picture. It shows your little picture and the bell with your notifications and the go live. It says the word filter, and then it'll say,
No,
uh,
no, I don't have that.
hmm,
No, dude. This is like it's like literally designed to keep me from doing exactly what I want, which is
yeah, it doesn't
see
matter.
the people I'm
It'll
subscribed
filter
to.
channels, and
Yeah, there's nowhere I could. Oh wait, maybe here.
but there's so many fucking red rooms that it doesn't matter. There's like 800 of them.
Okay, it's got three different icons here that none of them do anything when you click on them.
You got the upload video icon, the bell, and then your face. Then you hit the filter, and then it's
Yeah, there
got
is no
like
filter.
no oh filters. Sorry. Uh, uh
Well, if you can go over to the Red Room's site and look up the.
I can't find it. Um,
Well, let's see if I can go.
are you subscribed to them on
Discord, yeah,
Discord? Because they have a
but they've
link
got
to their.
like 60 million different channels, and let's see, Red Room Pro.
Uh, huh. I thought I was sub to them on Discord.
So this is their. Oh, here it is. I was right. The end of it. The end of Innocence,
Yeah.
and it'll be out in a couple of weeks. And it's got a really charming little cover of four kids. You're looking at them from behind. It's fall, lots of orange leaves. They're all wearing their backpacks, like on their way to school. They can't be more than 12 years old. Um, they're the perfect kind of, take care, Dungeon Minister. And what's up, Cal? How you doing? Uh,
Yeah.
Critical Role's toy line got canceled. Uh,
Don't care.
what's Critical Role would be my response to that. Um, other than when you roll a crit. But as you guys know, I don't use crit rules because they will just destroy a party in a matter of an hour of combat if used correctly. If all I got to do is roll a 20 on a 20-sided die when I'm attacking my players, they're all going to die in the first combat.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm going to cheat, but I'm going to end up rolling so many dice that it's just going to happen.
Now I found a red room, and their logo is like a woman in a bondage thing.
I'm pretty sure that's not theirs.
Yeah, yeah, it's not. But when I open it up, it's a bunch of black people sitting around a coffee table. So I don't know. Is there a thing about tying people up in the black community
No, no,
that I'm not aware of?
no, no.
There must be because you got like 10 of them in each of these videos, and they literally got one of those Japanese style rope things going on for their logo.
Yeah, no, no. That's not Miguel and Sylvia.
No, I know it's not Miguel and Sylvia, bro.
Yeah,
I just thought it was funny to bring up.
yeah. I went down that sort of mini rabbit hole looking for their channel uh, for some other reason back in the before I knew them, and it's like, how many different red rooms are there? But it wasn't really that there's a bunch of different channels with that name. It's just there's a lot of videos with that in it that have so many views that it just you
No,
know.
there's a lot of channels with that name.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of fucking channels. Seriously,
I thought you couldn't have identical names.
you most certainly can, but
Really?
it'll also give you like like if it's two out of the three words or whatever. Uh, Here, this is what it looks like when you filter by channel, and these are all like red room, red room, red room, red room. It's
Yeah, yeah. I've got something like
red
that on my
room,
tablet.
and this is the one I was talking about right here.
I've got something like that on my tablet, but I can't get that on my laptop.
Okay, yeah, okay, so
Back, show me how you got there.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. You see, like you're in. Oh fuck! I should just gone filter YouTube. Okay, so this is like red room, right? And then you
Uh,
see up here where it says the camera, the
yeah, I
thing, and
don't
it's
have
got.
any of that. I don't have that screen anywhere. When I go to YouTube, I don't see that. If I've
This
got to
is
click,
like just I type just
no,
I
that
just
the
typed
whole
in.
page, the whole page layout is vastly different from mine.
Okay, that's odd.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't
This
have any of
yeah
that on the right hand side. I've only got four things on the right hand side. It says you here. What does it
yeah
say?
it's got your logo.
No, it's got home, shorts, subscription, and you.
Yeah, no, that's the left hand side, bro.
Yeah, on the left hand side. On the right hand side, uh, there's it'd be.
How do you upload videos? Because this icon right here is the one for
I don't
uploading
do it on.
videos.
I don't do it on my laptop.
Okay, because that's the upload video logo right there. Content and
Yeah, I
then
don't have any of that.
notifications.
I don't have any
Yeah.
of that. Yeah, because I film my solo videos with my tablet, and if we do like a Jackie and me video, we use the camera, but we take the memory card out of the tablet, put it in the camera, and then bring it back to the tablet to upload it.
What browser do you use? Because
Google.
yeah, Chrome.
Yeah,
Because I get the same thing on Edge, Chrome, and Brave. Like it doesn't fucking matter. And usually
I
the
don't know.
browser's
I
one.
don't know why it's so different, but
So
my page layout looks nothing like that. Everything that's on your, I guess, left hand side,
yeah, I guess yeah, it'd be the yeah, it's on the left hand side. So yeah,
all those choices aren't there on my
and
they're
I've used on hook to remove choices, right? Because there
not.
should be more options up here.
And when you see where you see the big thumbnail, pictures,
Yeah,
that's over to the other side a little, closer to those choices more. And there's nothing on the right except descriptions and stuff of the video, with a lot of wasted space. And then above it, there's like some choices, some options, but not the ones you're showing.
yeah. But the only one you really want is the filter one, and then it opens up. I don't know if it shows you this window, and then you get hit channel.
And when I hit subscriptions, it literally just shows me
Now,
all the latest things I've watched, or the
okay,
people that I'm
subscribe to.
No,
Um,
a lot of these are things I'm not even subscribed to.
subscriptions. No, you're subscribed to them if it's in subscriptions. Um, now,
No.
when you
Oh,
hit
yeah,
this
maybe some.
here, when you
Okay.
hit all subscriptions,
I don't have
it
that option.
it's at the bottom of the list of the people you're subscribed to. It looks like this, but it's just the people. It looks like this, but it's just the people you're subscribed to. You won't have this X. This X is a plugin. It's so I can do that, and then 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 that, and I'll
Yeah,
never see
no.
I'll never see videos from these
One
people.
of these days, I'll show you. I'll bring my tablet up here, and I'll
Yeah,
show you if I can what I'm seeing. But it's crazy. Like,
I just know I never want to see these people's content, so I'm blocking them because I have this plugin. Oh wait, I clicked on that thing.
yeah, it literally it shows 3 6 about it keeps going, but
Yeah,
it's mostly videos of stuff I've already watched.
yeah,
It's like
that's
it's like
odd.
trying to drive me to watch channels I don't watch from my subscription list. It's mostly
Yeah,
things I rarely watch, and I'm like,
the subscriptions.
that's why
See, I
that's why I
only
was like
have
confused. It's like, am I subscribed to that? I guess I am.
yeah, that's the thing is I have it so when I open up YouTube, it takes me directly to the subscription page instead of the feed.
Yeah.
So I'm only watching stuff I subscribe to instead of just like random crap.
Um, I haven't done anything like that because I never know what might interest me, and I try to watch all my friends out there
Yeah.
at least once a week. But lately, it's getting harder and harder to do that.
Well, you're subscribed to so many people.
Well, no, I mean the people that we all know,
Yeah.
not just the bigger channels that I do watch. Which speaking of bigger channels, the Terrain Tutor is back. I don't know if you guys know that. He
Yeah.
had some adversity in his life, and
It's not the
now
first
he's
time he
back.
quit his channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh, that's too bad.
He's a bit of a drama queen, from what I remember.
I could see that. I know that he was one of the very first craft channels I watched. I liked
Yeah.
what he was doing. I liked his enthusiasm, and he's kind of an upbeat guy. And then I started watching other people, and he just fell in the cracks, I guess. And then I heard he was
Yeah.
going away, and I was like bummed about that because even though I didn't continue watching him religiously, like a lot of my other friends from the crafting community, DM Scotty and Wylock and all the other guys I used to hang out with and chat with from time to time. I haven't watched hardly any of them in over a year, if not more. I stopped watching Black Magic Craft because I just, it just his personality rubbed me the wrong way, um, and the same with another channel. I'm not even going to mention. They irritated me so much. Um,
Huh.
just saying, if you think 16-year-olds need to vote, um, you don't understand how dumb and how messed up a decision that would be
Mhm.
for any country. You're gonna let 16-year-olds vote? You know what they're gonna vote? They're gonna all vote you out of office or
Nah.
all out of the country. They're gonna vote for whatever they want that comes in through their dumb, underdeveloped little noggins.
They'll vote for Dude Weed, and oh wait, they already got that. So
like lowering the age of consent to whatever below 16, let's say.
that's the historical number,
I,
16.
I
Well,
understand that, but
it's either 16 or 14, depending on where you are.
I know I understand, but it's different when it's a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old versus a 14-year-old and a 40-year-old.
No, no, the age of consent meant it could be a a 16-year-old and a 40-year-old. That's
That
what the age of consent means,
yeah,
not the buffer age.
no,
That's the age that
I understand that, but
you're
it
yeah,
shouldn't exist. It should be
yeah.
culturally and morally
Well,
reprehensible.
culturally and morally, it is. It's legally, it needs to be like there has to be a punishment for breaking this taboo.
Yeah.
Um, because it used to be federally 14 here, and the liberals tried to abolish it during the last conservative
What do you mean
administration.
apologists make it not? You don't even need it.
Not a thing at all. Not
That's
a thing
that's
at
literal
all.
insanity.
And the conservatives turned around and raised it to 16.
Okay, good for them.
Yeah, so legally on a federal level, right? So each province is a little higher. I think it's 17, 18.
Because yeah, kids are
But
going to do what kids do. That's fine.
you still get
But
that like 3-year buffer crap or whatever, right? So whatever.
when grown-ups get involved with that sort of thing, it's not
Yeah.
right, and it opens up, it paves the way for people, abuse of power situations, and that's repugnant, and you know needs to go
So
screech off.
today shows the random politics show,
Yeah,
not
I'll
the
probably go and re
rename.
change the title, just because I was hoping George would show up at the very least, and
Yeah.
I don't want to waste that great discussion without at least one other person. No offense,
Yeah, no, I don't care one way or the other. You know
we could
me.
have done it on our own, but um,
You snooze, you lose, motherfuckers.
yeah,
You don't like the fact that we chose snail drives, and that's
and and and
drives powered by
and,
literal
and,
snails.
and freaking Raven, she
She
once
hasn't wrote
again,
anything either. I added to her thing on a separate tab a
uh,
checklist to help her construct the story better.
uh,
So if she's having trouble getting stuck, she can read through that. But I don't know because she didn't write she did not write another fucking word.
I think I made it up to page 20,
Yeah.
and I've got
If you
I
want that checklist, I can send it to you.
sure, why not?
Yeah.
I could finish it up with 5 pages, but I do want to explore the arena scene, because there has to be an arena scene. You know,
Mm. Okay, so you know how my new story has like that layout, like with all the sections on the side and all that.
yeah,
Okay, I can take that document, put it put that checklist in like I don't know outline or whatever, and then just put that document up there. And if you want to use it, all you have to do is like copy it. Like you open it and go to file, and there's like a copy document, and it just says the name of the document with the words copy, and you just rename it, whatever. So you'll always have that without having to like create it every time. I don't know
nice.
if you want that. Uh, or just send you the checklist in Discord. One or the other. You pick one.
Yeah, but yeah, I got them to a certain point, and there's got to be uh, an arena scene. There just has to. But
Well, yeah, you want an arena scene. There's got to be an arena scene. Those are the rules.
yeah, well, no, I mean, if I want to do the sort of Roman uh, architectural styles, and sort of feel to it, as well as gore, and everything like that, it's just like it's a no brainer.
Have it the climactic moment at the center of the story. So it's like where like everything that's going bad to them goes up to this moment, and then they do their arena stuff. Then they start getting like things start going their way, right? Like that's how stories tend to work.
Well, you know uh, it, it was good, it went bad, it got worse, then it got good, and now it has to get bad, and then it has to get even worse, and
Yeah,
then I can end with a happy ending ish.
yeah.
because I'm going to do something that John Norman didn't do at the end of every one of his books that I know of.
Which was what?
Send the characters home.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
'Cause,
sure.
you
Yeah, in
know,
his books, they just become part of the lumpen mass
yeah.
of humanity on his world or whatever. Uh,
Well, Edgar Rice Burroughs kind of did the same thing too, at least a couple of times where Carter would go back to Earth, like, oh, I want to be back on Mars,
yeah, because that's where
but
his family was now, right?
right, and I'm gonna play with that, um, and do something different that makes sense, but at the same time, leaves it open for a sequel. Not that I want to do that, but I like cliffhangers, and I like not I guess leaving loose ends, or at least one to, if I wanna, come back to a story that I can, at least I guess leave myself a way back in as opposed to a loose end.
Hmm.
Leave an open doorway to do more with it. I did that with the the airship story, the storm. I could easily pick up where I left off and continue, as opposed to just going, that's how it ends. Suck it.
Hmm.
You don't like it.
So I'm just gonna send you this checklist over Discord.
That's fine.
Uh,
Hey, Cal, you still there? You ready for tomorrow? I am. I've been looking forward to it all week. And Grim won't be showing up tomorrow. He's got a family thing to do, so that kind of sucks. But
yeah.
you snooze, you lose, right?
Hmm. Hmm. In the case of me 2 games ago, I literally snoozed.
But you didn't lose.
Yeah.
You lost out on a little fun, but uh, who only knows what you were dreaming about could have been way more fun. So um, there's always
I
that.
don't remember. I
But
don't remember. I didn't write anything down.
you write that stuff down.
Sometimes it's worth writing down.
I think I've done that like a couple of times in my life, but just like less than a handful.
Yeah, it's a recommended exercise for writers.
Really.
Hmm.
'Cause Jackie does that too, all the time. And I'm like,
Yeah. Writing shit down, just writing shit down is a recommended
yeah,
exercise. Yeah, after dinner at a Mexican restaurant. Ooh,
that's
that's
funny.
fun. Mexican restaurant, huh?
Yeah, I had a burrito for dinner. It's pretty good.
I had meatloaf.
Ooh, I've been wanting to make meatloaf for a while, but it's just Jackie and I, you know, and that's like a lot of meat to make a meatloaf that more than likely will, unless it's really really good, it won't get the leftovers won't get eaten.
How are you making it so it's not good?
Uh, Honestly, I would just make it the exact same recipe as my my meatballs. For spaghetti meatballs, I would just, instead of turning it into meatballs, I would just throw it in the meatloaf pan. But
Okay. Add some crushed cracker to it,
I
right?
use Italian breadcrumbs. But yeah,
Okay, that's good. Um,
eggs, seasonal.
yeah, I dropped the seasonal. I like the meat flavor, but you gotta like top it with like tomato soup or tons of ketchup
ketchup,
or
barbecue
so.
sauce, or yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Usually go more red than brown on that, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it locks in the moisture, right?
Yep. But the other problem that I don't like
Wh-
about it,
What
um,
kind of pan do you use?
I was actually going to use like an aluminum loaf pan, the disposable ones.
No, no, no. You need the smooth edges. Get yourself one of the bread pans,
Okay.
like the low rise ones. There's one that's like
Well,
3 inches or
the
four
reason why is
inches.
because every time I've made meatloaf before, is uh, all the juice stays at the bottom and then it falls apart at the bottom.
Never had that problem.
Really.
Never.
Okay. So what I was going to do is I was going to take one of the aluminum foil, the disposable pans, and since they come in a 3-pack, I was going to take two of them. One of them I was going to poke holes at the bottom so that some of the juice could drain out.
No, because you'll end up just with a dry meat loaf. Then the
And then,
moisture is where the flavor is.
so then how do you keep it from, keeping too much moisture in to where the bottom of the meatloaf is not like sliceable? It's just mush.
I've never had that problem, man.
Really?
Literally never had that problem.
Are you making it with something besides just hamburger?
No.
Huh. Okay.
Try removing the egg.
Removing the egg, really? Okay.
Or less egg. Ow.
Even if I use a pound and a half, it's only one egg.
Mhm. Yeah.
Could it be the fat content of the hamburger?
Maybe. What lineage are you using?
I think it's
60,
75 or 80.
80% fat, or
No,
because that's
no,
pretty high, bro.
no, like
Yeah.
20 or 25%.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
I don't know. I have to look.
I think we usually just get the tubes.
Yeah, same
The,
here.
yeah. The
Yeah.
or whatever's on the shelf. Huh. I don't know. And
Well,
then
I was going to
you know,
experiment with it this week because the boy's going to be home, and uh,
because you could always have like you cut the pieces you're eating for dinner, and if there's leftovers, which I don't know how the fuck you get leftovers of meatloaf, just eat more. It's meatloaf. Uh,
because there's only two of us,
yeah,
and 3 pounds of meat between two guys, he
it's
he
not enough meat. Well,
he can't. I don't think he could eat more than a half pound.
I'm just saying that's a great title for your next movie series. 3 pounds of meat between two guys.
That's no, 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 no. I'm getting hungry, even though I just had a freaking big fat ass burrito.
So you get the rye bread. Get the rye bread,
Mhm.
right? You get the pre-sliced loaf. It's
Yeah.
nice, strong, sturdy bread. And you put some, I don't know, barbecue sauce on there or whatever. Toast it, so it gives you a little more strength. And then you put some slices of meatloaf on there.
Mhm.
Bind it together with some cheese so it doesn't fall apart too much.
Okay.
Put your other piece of bread on it. Now you've got a great fucking hearty sandwich. Meatloaf sandwich. Meatloaf
Sounds
sandwich.
good. I was thinking more uh, like a French roll. Take two
Fr-
slices of meatloaf,
Yeah, yeah.
like a
You could
real
do
sandwich.
that. Yeah, you could do that. Like that sandwich I
Nice,
had the other day.
like a good inch thick slice of meatloaf. Two of them,
Yeah.
crapped on a ketchup, maybe some mayo.
Yeah. You probably don't need more ketchup. Cheese. You want cheese on there to bind things together. You don't want like losing meat meatloaf while you're
like a Swiss, you think?
yeah, whatever will melt into a glue-like substance.
I don't see cheddar being the right choice.
You could do a
It would be too
cheddar.
it would be too strong.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe a
It's like,
pepper jack or Monterey Jack or
oh,
provolone, even,
oh,
you
yeah,
know, milder cheese.
yeah.
Not, I suppose mozzarella wouldn't be bad,
Mozza
but
would not be bad, especially like if you toast the bread in the pan and then you get like the cheese on there, like you toast it, flip it, put the cheese on, then put the meatloaf on top of one side so it melts in, and then you flip it up and you get that nice goo with the meatloaf in between. You probably just grill some onions and forget all the other
you totally read
condiments.
my mind, dude. It's like I'm thinking grilled onions, man.
Yeah, just some grilled
Grilled
onions in
onions.
there.
You
What,
know?
or as I like to call it, the salad of men.
Yes,
The
yes.
salad of men. Yeah.
Because I can do grilled onions and raw onions at the same time, and that's all I need.
Yeah, that's texture, bro. That's texture.
Yep. And a little bit of
Yeah.
crunch and a manly flavor. Uh,
Yeah. Maybe even some mushrooms.
ooh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say if Dungeon Minister was here, I'd be like, you know, one of these days, I'm going to win that onion eating contest. Just saying.
Yeah. You're. I'm just saying I'm gonna win because I'm gonna just show up with my slicer, drop the onions down, and just dig into the sliced onions with a fork.
I don't know
See,
if it's a timed contest or not.
slicers run fast, bro, and if it's the number of onions you can eat in a time, it's easier to eat them when they're sliced
Oh,
than
sure,
as a
sure.
whole thing. So
Well, I because I keep whenever I think about it, I think of that scene from V, the TV series. Remember when the Latino guy is driving up to the checkpoint before he gets there, he's like grabs an onion and like starts eating it. So he's got like to comedically show that he's going to have this nasty onion breath when he talks to the checkpoint guards, and they're like, "Just move along," because he's smuggling humans or something.
yeah,
You know, past the aliens or whatever. Um, but I always think of that
the
scene.
original one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
With Michael Ironside and uh,
Some weirdo.
Mark Singer from Beastmaster before he was Beastmaster, I think.
Yeah.
Or
No,
might
I think that was after.
yeah, I was gonna say I think I think it was after.
You ever watch the remake with your favorite?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I wanted to, but I missed it.
It ended abruptly. It got canceled.
I think she may be cursed.
Yeah. Um. No, it was on for like 3 seasons or whatever.
Really?
It did one of those things that like bad TV show writing where they have like a perfect opportunity to wrap up the story, but they carry it on because they got another season instead of like introducing new story arcs.
Gotcha.
So because they kept doing that, they did that thing where like, okay, this is just one of those never ending story bullshits. So viewers started to stop tuning in, and they dived below the minimum threshold that could keep them on air and canceled with a cliffhanger kind of thing, right? Like that's what you get for
There's a special place in hell for people to do that.
yeah, you're leading on your fans to the point where they just get sick and tired of it, and that's the same thing I say with like uh, role playing games. Is like that there's a time when the show needs to end, and you just need to like pick up a new game,
Yep.
and just keeping things going for the sake of keeping things going is a annoying and b a dick move, and it's in all forms of storytelling, right? If you're doing a serialized thing, it's a different matter. But because in serialized content, there's a beginning, a middle, and end, and then a new story with the same characters. You know what I mean?
sort of.
Yeah.
Because
No,
I, cause
that's
I,
literally the definition of serialized
no,
content.
no, I know what you mean. But when it comes to RPGs, there are a lot of people who get really, really upset when a good game ends just to play another game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
like if the DM's getting tired, what's best, in my opinion, is to take a break versus just say we're not playing anymore.
mm. Well, that's because in those situations, from every time I hear that, it's the story isn't over yet. There has been no resolution, right? Like there are those fundamental structures of a story. You introduce a problem, you build that problem up, you have your climax moment when your characters realize what they've got to do, and then they start moving towards the solution, and then they have the resolution. And if it's every time you start moving towards a solution, there's a new ramp up to a problem instead of hitting that solution, and that's where it gets annoying, right? Instead of like that one mountain, that one pyramid, you've got an entire chain of pyramids with no end in sight.
Right.
uh and it's like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, why am I playing the game of what was it? Not Atlas, Sisyphus. What was the guy always pushing the boulder up the
Uh,
uh
um,
but you know what I mean, right?
yeah, but I can't
Yeah,
remember his name. But yeah, I
yeah.
know what you mean.
He always had to push the boulder up to find himself at the bottom of the hill the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh it's like it becomes annoying bullshit real fucking fast.
Uh, it can. I mean, you got to remember the old school players. Uh,
We're
not
12 and didn't know better.
well, no. Even as they went on, uh, they would rather keep playing the same character than start over.
Yeah. And
And if you can,
I personally find that sad.
it depends on. I mean, it's not like writing a book where you say this is ahead of time. This is what's going to happen because if you do that, then that's sort of railroading. You know what I mean? They've got to come up with you know
Yes,
their own
but
goals, and then if they set this like major goal and then they accomplish the major goal, then you can have like that epilogue chapter and
mm,
decide is there going to be a sequel.
yeah.
You know what I mean? At which point, I think it would be a good opportunity to take a break, let the GM recharge his batteries to come up with something else, maybe, and maybe run another game for a little while. Let everybody whatever, and see how many
Mhm.
people are like, yeah, I want to get back to the other game now, because sometimes that's fine. Okay, we did the thing, we killed the dragon, we retired happily ever after, cool. But
Mhm.
if you killed the dragon, but you found out that someone else was behind the dragon, but you still go, oh, we're going to retire and leave it for the next generation or something. That you could do that, but some
Yeah.
people be like, well, no, I'm running an elf. I'm not. I am the next generation and the next generation. I'm going to go. If you guys are retiring, I'm going to go find a new group and keep going. You might have, you know,
Mhm.
some people retire, some people not. Some
Well,
people, you know,
it's one of those things where like, and this is usually a sign of bad storytelling in writing, is okay, you've defeated the dragon, and then there's something behind the dragon.
mm,
But if there's nothing foreshadowing that at any time, it's just like pulled out of your ass.
could be, yeah.
Yeah, and then you defeat that dark lord behind the dragon, and there was a darker lord behind him, and then
Or it's
then
the
you defeat.
god, or
Yeah.
something like that. Uh, I know what you mean by the and then, but
it's that scene from Dude, Where's My Car when they're ordering the Chinese food.
Right.
And dad and dad and
Mhm.
uh
But the other argument would be that it is a game, and the
yeah.
players are already feel like they're winning. To pull that out from underneath them and say, okay, now start first level characters. That's
No, because you've won the game.
well, you have
It'd
to
be
you have
it
to
be
give them
it, it,
that victory,
it would be
like
like
formally.
you're sitting down and playing a game of Monopoly, and then when one person fucking owns the entire board and has all the cash in the bank,
Yeah,
you just pull out a larger board that they're like you just pull out like six more Monopoly boards and line them up in a ring, and you just like hand out the majority of those other properties to the other players and say, "Okay, we're playing Super Monopoly now." And then when one of those players owns all those boards, you then pull out like 20 more Monopoly boards and say, "We're playing Mega Super Monopoly now."
yeah. Well, that's why I said
It's
you got to give them the sort of formalized victory dance. The celebration, the Luke Skywalker getting his medal at the end of Star Wars.
yeah, but
And,
not Chewy. Fuck Chewy.
yeah, I know, right? And then saying, okay, well, you guys did everything. Why don't we take a little break and see if you guys, want to come back and go forward, or if you want to do something else, that's also an option.
Yeah, I want to play Mega Super Monopoly now.
I want to play the Monopoly. What was it? I should ask Jackie when they were looking through the closet in Gravity Falls, the different games that were in that closet.
I don't remember. I
One of
don't
them was
remember.
like Necronomicon Monopoly or something,
Oh.
and yeah, I'll have to ask Jackie. There
There's,
were
there's a guy on YouTube that made like communist Monopoly,
okay,
and I gotta get myself a copy of that because it's like every other card is you go to the gulag or something like
right, of course, or you get a divorce,
that, or it's like uh the state owes you money. It will be distributed amongst all players. Like every payout gets paid out to everyone equally. Uh, except for the banker, he gets twice as much.
and free parking is the bread line.
Shit like that. It was
And you never
hilarious.
pass go, and you never collect $200. It's just a line that never ends. It's like those dungeon tiles. You go to a room, and then you go to another room, and then when you're done with that room, you just put that room in front of you. So you just keep going one direction, but you never pass go. You
Yeah,
never collect two
it's
hundred
like
dollars.
you ever play the original Diablo?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like that. But yeah, that's procedurally generated, right? That's how it's done. It's like
yeah.
there's a tile and it's just laid out in the grid. Oh, I gotta learn how to do that. Make one of those. Uh,
Ask Mr. Max. I'm sure he can teach you. Or at
nah,
least tell you where to go.
he's an artist. That was so fucking funny.
Yeah, I'd like to see something that he's done. Not that I don't believe him, but just to get an
Yeah.
idea of what he's you know into what
He,
he
he
considered.
did he did rigging, right? So if he worked on a game, it was like making sure the arms moved properly
Hmm.
and didn't look like jank and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty much. Should
Okay.
ask him. Ask him what games he worked on. You can probably
I,
tell you.
I got the impression that we did, and he did want to talk about it,
I don't
or
remember.
maybe he's not allowed to, or you never know.
No, his name would be in the credits for the games he worked on.
Hmm.
Uh There's always that one tab that you can click on that gives you the list of everyone that worked on the game, man.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go through a bunch of games looking for his name. You know,
I think it was Ubisoft, so you
that narrows.
narrow it down to the games made by Ubisoft Quebec or whatever, Montreal, wherever that location was. Yeah, that narrows it down to like 80 games. And then I think it was like 2007 to 2020 or whatever. Maybe a little before that, 2015. Doesn't matter.
So I'm going to call it here at 2 hours since nobody decided to join us. I'm guessing Bruce had a game, so Crafting couldn't make it or wasn't feeling well, and
Yeah.
George was probably doing family stuff. There won't be a Thursday show because it's Thanksgiving. Although I may come on after dinner if I'm bored or whatever. But
Yeah,
for
just
free,
ding
uh,
me on Discord there because it's not Thanksgiving for me, as far as I
yeah,
know.
right. And we will still do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday shows on your channel
Yeah,
at noon your time, 10 o'clock my time.
1 o'clock my time.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, so 10 yours. Yeah,
And
12 my
then
time.
I'm going to be doing a couple of short videos next week. But the boy's home, so I'm going to try and get him to come visit when we're doing your show in the morning.
Mm,
And otherwise, I'm going to try and do a bunch of stuff with the boy while he's home. I'm trying to get him to when we're done watching Gravity Falls. We're either going to watch the Planet of the Apes movie series, as much of Heroes as we can get in, at least the first two seasons because it was so well written. Babylon 5, or there was something else I was pondering, maybe watching. But
yeah, with the Planet of the Apes, just do one at a time.
oh yeah, 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 like one each day until we're done with it.
Yeah.
He's got the whole freaking day off. It's not like um, we're just going to sit in front of the screen. Although that's what he'll be doing when he's not doing that, because he's
Hmm.
got homework over the vacation, and he's got his video he's working on. But I got a whole bunch of yard work and chores for him to do as well. Uh, Winning.
Yeah. Uh, we should get him the taser collar. His chore is just like getting tased for an hour.
Well, all I have to do is just turn off the router for the internet, and it has the same effect, but it's
Hmm.
psychological.
Yeah. There's an app you can get on your phone that will allow you to target specific devices on the router.
Oh,
So you can just shut off his connection to it for like
that's
15 minutes or an hour or whatever.
it's like, oh, no internet. I guess we're just gonna have to watch a DVD.
Yeah, well, mind you, all the other devices in the house, like it's just his computer and cell phone
And
that
tablet.
that and tablet. Yeah, yes, you have to like trial and error figure out what ones are which, but
But don't they
yeah,
don't they have names?
yeah, but I it's like fucking names on the device, not names on the router. The
Oh,
router is just like device one, device two, device three.
okay.
Uh,
Some I might want to
but
look
I
into.
think you can rename them in the thing.
Well,
So,
because I'm pretty sure I named some of my devices when I first got them,
mhm.
like the laptop and one of my tablets. Pretty sure I did that, where it had that option.
Yeah, but
I named it
nonetheless,
Slave One and Slave Two.
it knows and it's going to come for you now.
Not worried about it. Not worried about it.
It's not got opposable thumbs. I think I'm okay.
Yeah, what's the worst it can do to me? I've been electrocuted before, and I'm still standing. Well, not standing right now, but
I'm still sitting.
I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't get up the whole time.
Yeah,
So
loving the new chair.
yeah, not just that, but I got to get used to not going down for a certain reason. So I figured this would be one of the things to help facilitate that. If I don't feel the need to actually stand up because my back is all jacked up, uh,
You ever
I,
try getting a footstool?
I really couldn't do that with the table the way it is.
Mm,
I suppose I could. Yeah, I could.
okay.
I could just bring that other chair up here, do that, but I fidget too much. Uh,
Yeah,
so
that's why you get this. I don't know. Can you see the?
yeah, restless leg and stuff like that.
Yeah, the camera's attached to the thing you use for a footstool. So you get that's the camera moving, not me. Uh,
So gonna call it. I will see you
yeah.
tomorrow. Everybody
Party
else up
on.
there in TV land, thanks for hanging out. Wasn't the show I thought, but it never is, and you never know who's going to show up or not show up. They can't all be winners, but I had fun. I know some of you guys did too. Appreciate it. I will see you guys Monday, unless I see you
Yeah.
tomorrow, because we're in a game together. So happy trails, everybody. We'll see.